Hey Half-Bit, what's your favorite system? Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Super Nintendo. As we got closer to the end of the 80s, we all thought, how could this possibly get any better? Sega responded with incredibly aggressive ads that threw itself right into your face with edgy television spots that boasted that Sega Genesis was 16-bit, cool, and catered more to the mature crowd. They were loud and they were designed to grab your attention by the balls, and, well, it worked. When the Genesis first came out, the NES was still holding onto its ground against Sega. As time went on, Sega began to take over the video game scene. Nintendo responded by creating a video game system that surpassed the Sega Genesis's hardware in terms of colors, graphics, and sound capabilities. And so began the greatest video game war in history, the Bit Wars. Now, I don't want to go too deep into the Bit Wars, as there's so much information to go over that leaving anything out simply just wouldn't do it any justice. So many elements are subjective, and it still keeps the debates going till this day. Now, what was so great about it back then is that for the most part, the consumers benefited from a much higher quality. In the 16-bit era, if you like side-scrolling platformer games, it was a good time to be alive. That genre would become so refined, and in some cases it felt perfected. There were the obvious choices that you could consider safe, like Mario Brothers or Donkey Kong Country, but because of how well the genre had become, you would often get surprised by how great a game was, even though it sounded like poo-poo on paper. This was the case with Aladdin. It's a damn good Disney movie, but movie-to-game adaptations rarely work out. And I remember writing this off thinking it was too girly for me. But there was one Friday night I discovered I rented everything else at the rental store and decided to take a chance on Aladdin. Man, was I wrong. Not only is the game totally kick-ass, but it also got my sister interested in playing the game with me. So, I figure if we call my sister, ask politely, we would probably get her over here to play the game with us. Tails, get the f*** over here! I'm gonna go to the restroom, man.
Alright. Dirty.
Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. Who dares disturb the genie of the game?
They call me Tails.
Very well, Tails. I, genie of the game, shall grant you 3 wishes.
Awesome! Alright, for my first wish, I want you to hang out with us and play this game.
I shall grant your wish.
What the f*** is that?
Dude, it's our own personal genie.
What?
He's here to grant us 3 wishes.
Oh!
Why are you still yelling?
I don't know!
Is this always how you treat your guests?
No, sorry, I've never seen a genie in real life before.
What Tails exclaims is true. I shall grant you 3 wishes. Would you like the 2nd wish?
Second? What did you wish for, dude?
I wish for him to stay and help us beat the Aladdin game.
That is the dumbest wish I have ever heard.
Then tell me, what is it you desire?
I wish for an artificial audience.
Sim Sim Sarabim!
Sweet, I'm gonna test it out. The movie The Room by Tommy Wiseau is the greatest movie ever conceived by man. That is awesome. So if you're gonna hang out with us, you got a name?
My name is Halama 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 Halama.
Can we just call you Jim?
That works too.
So this is Aladdin. For its time, the graphics were superb and helped introduce gamers to cel-shaded graphics, which seemed to be the target for a lot of games released by Disney. The game follows the movie very closely, but does have a couple of stages that have nothing to do with the story, but are still welcome additions to the game. What makes it the case is its control. It's fantastic and quite responsive. Part of what makes the platformer game so much fun to play with older consoles was the ability to basically juggle yourself among the enemies and the terrain, and this can be easily accomplished by the old age tactic of rocking the D-pad while in the air that experienced players consider a staple in high quality side-scrollers. Aside from your main weapon of simply just bouncing off the heads of your enemies, you also have apples at your disposal which allow you to stun your enemies. The blue rubies that you can collect are identical to the purpose of coins in any given Super Mario Bros. Game. There are red rubies in the game that you can collect, but apparently their only use is to see a slightly different ending where the credits roll showing the game in action, and instead of being called a great player at the end of the game, it'll instead call you a super player. Now that might seem like a waste of time, but that's because it is. Hey, that's you! Except you're not wearing a shirt there. Would it be weird if I asked you to remove your shirt?
Yes.
Dude, I always have trouble with this boss.
This guy can be taken out with proper timing. Just wait for him to raise his sword over his head and then jump toward him. When you knock him down, you want to make sure you get the hell away from him because he goes into this crazy tirade of spaz that would make Margot Kidder seem tame. Bam! That's how you do it.
Why don't you shut your face?
Why don't you eat my feces?
Have you guys always been this mature?
Have you always looked like a blueberry Pop-Tart?
Anyway, next we're in the Cave of Wonders, which eventually leads to meeting the magical carpet. But as soon as you meet him, he just takes off as if to say, F him, he can jump through all that shit. You do eventually meet up with him again after you've found the lamp and your monkey decides to reenact one of Winona Ryder's favorite hobbies by stealing the jewel. This causes the cave to go up into flames. Now this part of the level is made difficult by one issue, the run button. When you hold the run button and you try to stop or go in the opposite direction, you'll slide all over the place as if Sub-Zero took a leak all over the screen. Before it was never an issue, but now you have platforms that are short in length. So to get through this, don't touch the Y button. Besides, you're going to need to keep cool in order for you to stay in the final part of this cave. This seems to be the only part of the game that really frustrates a lot of gamers. The main reason being that it's incredibly easy to die. You can't touch the walls, the lava, or the rocks, otherwise you'll fall to your doom. Now I'm kind of making this look easy, and it's only because I've had so much practice at it. Really the best strategy in order for you to get past this stage without becoming an angry hemorrhoid is, well, to die a lot. I know that doesn't seem like much of a strategy, but this allows you to recall everything coming up ahead. Once you pass this, we finally get to meet the genie, who apparently has very little regard for your life as he puts you through quite a bit of dangerous platforming.
Wow, you're a douche.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's pretty uncool. I mean, you're supposed to be rewarded for finding you, but instead you're doing everything you can to make sure the master dies. Kinda sick, man.
No, it isn't! I merely set forth a challenge to ensure worthiness. Is it really my fault you're too girly to see that?
You're the one wearing the nightgown, Toots.
Dude!
Man!
So is it customary for you to lick the feet of your master?
Do you even know where those feet have been?
So unsanitary.
Shut up!
Hey, we're just teasing you. What you do behind closed doors with bare feet and farm animals is your business. After a couple more stages of the same, you're rewarded with a bonus level that has you flying unchallenged on the carpet with the princess, clearly mimicking the iconic scene in the movie Aladdin. I can show you the world.
Shining, shimmering, splendid.
Now tell me, princess, when did you last let your heart decide? A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
You know, I keep thinking I'm gonna get a sword. I swear when we were kids we used to play with a scimitar.
Sword? Ah, you're thinking about Aladdin for the Sega Genesis.
They're different?
Totally different. You know what? I have a copy. Let's check it out. So the mystery is solved. This is Aladdin for the Sega Genesis. Well, right away the first thing you notice is that the graphics and animation are pretty good. You do of course get a scimitar, but you also get to use apples to attack just like the SNES. The only difference is here you can kill with the apples. And I guess that's the other thing that sort of bothers me here. I don't remember Aladdin going around stabbing the holy living f*** out of everyone. As for the enemies, I have to admit, some of them can be pretty tough. There certainly isn't anything wrong with a little bit of challenge, but for the most part, the challenge is coming by poor hit detection. There are times where you'll swing your sword and you won't hit anything, so I find myself just hitting the attack button repeatedly in panic. To top it off, you'll also deal with some serious issues regarding the platform jumping itself. Half the time I find myself falling through things.
Maybe you just suck. You wanna go? Come on, let's light this mother. Come on, you wanna fight me? I'll bust a lightning camp right up your ass.
Though there are some frustrating elements about the game, I have to say it's not that bad. But I will admit it does make me wish I was just playing the Super Nintendo version instead.
Or maybe you should quit being a whiny baby girl.
Maybe you should eat you hideous smurf.
Yeah, you reject from the Blue Man Group.
Why don't you both just go while looking at photos of David Hasselhoff?
Wow. I am impressed. Well, let's get back to the SNES.
Let's do this.
For the game's final stages, you'll see a few new enemies and elements to challenge you. For the most part, it's not too difficult. As for Jafar, he's not bad either. For his first form, you need to jump off his staff to hit him in the head. The final form, just jump off his Easter eggs or jump when he whips his body to pop him in the head. The only thing that pisses me off about this final battle is that at times there's too much crap on the screen. As a result, you'll start to experience a huge frame rate drop, slowing everything down. Nice work, man.
Damn right. Pretty easy.
That's what your mom said last night.
I'll show you. For my final wish, I want a blue boxing glove. Hulk smash!
Tastes like blueberries.